Alright, today we have with us Gangesh. He runs an apparel business out of Delhi, and the business has been around for over 30 years. So it's a pretty old business, pretty set up business. And Gangesh has recently took over the operations, everything around the business basically. And Gangesh recently started building his personal brand with us. It's been over roughly 4-5 months it's we've been working on and off. It's been a bit inconsistent, but now we're going to be strategizing and planning content for the next 3 months. And today's session is going to be a strategy session where we give Gangesh more clarity as to who we're creating content for, why we're creating it. This is something we did initially as well, but owing to a lot of friction, owing to relatively less clarity back then, Gangesh wasn't very sure, very clear on who he needed to create content for. So in this strategy session, we're going to get into the depths of every single thing about and around content, what the purpose of Gangesh's personal brand is going to be, how we're going to take it forward, what the positioning is going to be. And yeah, Gangesh, give a brief introduction about yourself as well.
So he explained a bit about my business. We run a clothing brand. It was established in 1988. My grandfather started the brand. Now I'm the third generation in the brand. It's quite a legacy that I have to live up to. The trust that has been built over 3 decades. That's how I want to go ahead. So yeah, I met Amish for this personal branding, which I feel personally is gonna be very important for every business owner in the coming days, because people actually want to know what's going on behind the curtains. I think my business, my routine, the segment that you're working in D2C and all those things, it's very much important there. So it complements that. I need to show people how do we work, what are the problems, what are the achievements, how the complete ecosystem in our company is, what are the culture that we live on. And being the youngest in our family, being the third generation, I can do this. I have this opportunity and nobody else could do it in my family. So why not? That's
Absolutely.
why this is very important.
Absolutely. Gangesh, we'll be doing a whiteboard. Well, it's not a whiteboard this time, it's a glass board. But we'll be doing a glass board session right now, wherein I'll be asking you a few questions. You'll have to direct me on those questions a bit. We'll further elaborate on the content that we come up with through this brief Q&A. And then by the end of the video, by the end of the session, you'll have a lot of clarity on the strategy that we're going to be taking forward with your personal brand. Perfect?
Yeah, that's
Let's
good.
get to it. I wanted the whole thing to look symmetrical, so I had to split the name. Disclaimer, ICP is a word that will be used a lot in the video. It stands for Ideal Customer Profile. That basically is the exact person that your content is being made for. Because when you're making content for a reason, with a vision, you have to make it for a very specific kind of people. So within the video, you're going to be hearing this word a lot. That is the definition. Before we get to that, we need to be very clear on your purpose with your personal brand. Give me 4 to 5 pointers. That is the purpose of your personal brand.
For my personal growth.
Okay, elaborate upon that.
Personal growth, as in like we all have the fear of showing up ourselves. Like I have so many ideas in my mind, I have so many experiences in my mind that I can share with people about, and people actually are consuming so much of this content. While doing that, I will also overcome my fear of being on camera.
Right, okay. Yeah, that's one. What else?
Second is, of course, why should I not capitalize my journey? Why should not I, capitalize the experiences, the journey, the infra, the brand, the legacy that I've been blessed with? So I think this is one way to capitalize it in terms of both money also and knowledge also. I can give people knowledge also. I can actually give them something worthwhile that they can also
learn a lot from. And that is a byproduct of you just
documenting. Which will market me in a way.
Right.
So that's capitalize means that.
Very true. Second is documenting the journey. What else?
It will help me build a lot of authenticity and trust for my brand, which will again help people feel that, and then which is going to lead to more sales, more marketing, more trust for my brand. So it complements my brand as well.
So there's also an organic marketing channel for your business, which is Sports Sun India. That's SUN, right? Not SON?
SUN, yeah.
SUN. What else have you got?
It will open so many new doors for me to network. It will have very good effect there.
Very true.
An actual college.
Yeah. Fourth is network. What else have you got?
I want to be someone in the industry who kinds of helps elevate the industry all in all, like in the long term.
Yeah. I think broadly that will come under organic marketing for Sports Sun.
It will come under my marketing. Because Kalko, people would not say like Sports Sun is in the committee of this textile foundation. I will be in that committee because I would have shown my knowledge and my authenticity from my personal brand towards the
That's a
whole
great
industry.
point. That's a great point, actually. Yeah. So fifth is going to be industry domination. Let's try that.
Yeah.
So like playing on the front foot about where the industry is headed, what you're doing around it. That's actually a very unique vision that you have with your personal brand. Yeah, not a lot of people are able to think in that direction. Within posting 2 videos, you were invited to Jindal University.
Yeah, for
What
a panel session.
For a panel session.
I never actually went to college. I did, but I did my graduation through open board. I joined my business early on while I was 20 years old. I'm still amazed by this. Just one reel. They did not ask for my degree. They did not ask for anything else. All they thought was like, we're doing this thing where we want about family business. And they saw my reel, they felt something through it, and they were like, we would like you to be a panel speaker there. That's the only thing they said.
Really great to hear.
Yeah, I was sitting in front of 100 students being a panel speaker about family businesses.
How was that? How was the experience?
It was quite difficult for me to digest, honestly, because I was like, how is this even possible? Like, I just created one reel and now I'm sitting here in an actual college.
Got it. Anything else apart from...
I think it covers a lot of it. I think it builds a lot of trust.
Okay, how I look at trust and story, two things that can be written as purpose here, but I don't usually write it here, is because trust and story is a moat that will be around all of this. Is a moat that is going to intertwine to each one of these pointers that we've written here. So we don't want to write that as a purpose, that will be a byproduct. Alright, we're going to get to the solar system analogy for breaking down the ICP of a personal brand. This is an analogy that I came up with, that I've used in my previous YouTube videos as well. And if you want to use this analogy for your own personal brand as well, will be really helpful. And it's a pretty easy way of figuring out what your ICP can be. So we start with Gangesh being the sun here, and every ICP pillar that we think of here that we're going to ideate on is going to be a planet. So we're going to figure out what ICP, for what reason, what purpose, and we'll connect it to whether this ICP is able to fulfill the purpose that we've written here. For the first purpose, which is personal growth, what we're going to be doing here is essentially documenting raw thoughts, learnings of your own self as a 24-year-old that has the responsibilities that you have, what you learn from them, how you experience them, your vulnerabilities around them. So your ICP is going to be a 24-year-old or a 20-something-year-old person who's under similar circumstances as you.
Yeah, but can I get my input?
Yeah, tell me.
I don't think the age part is I think it should not come in the ICP because see, many people have all this infra, all this knowledge, all this access. And personal growth is related to fear of camera a little bit. And that is not relative with age. A person who is 35 also, he also might be ambitious. He also could be aspirational. He also could have all the setup that he can actually document and put out there.
Right.
So he also should overcome that fear about, posting it online.
No, but when I think of your personal growth, I'm not just thinking of it from the perspective of how do you feel while being in front of the camera. I'm talking about every single thing in your personal growth. That includes fitness, that includes your mental health, that includes your travel, what you learn from travel, why you want to travel, the lifestyle you're living, what is the reason behind that lifestyle, every single thing.
What are your pointers which made age come into the ICP?
If you remember, there was a time when even me, I hopped onto the bandwagon of using the hook as a 21-year-old. And the reason that worked really well was that right off the bat, anybody that relates to that age, 2 years below that, 2 years above that, will want to hear you out. In the first 3 seconds, you already established relatability. A 23-year-old will think, I was here 2 years ago, let's see what he has to say. A 19-year-old will think, he's close to my age, let's see what he has to say. Let's see what he's living like. Let's see what he's doing. Why you should use your age in your content is because simply 2 mathematical digits here will strike a proportion and intensity of relatability that it takes for alphabets to do in one whole sentence otherwise. And age directly strikes relatability. A 20-year-old listening to a 20-year-old say, I am a 20-year-old, will be like, let's hear this 20-year-old out because I'm also 20-year-old. There's relatability there.
Actual hook conversion is quite higher.
Very high because the relatability is just so much. It's like saying, I make 10 lakh rupees a month and the reel goes to someone that makes exactly that amount. We're like, I need to watch this. This is exactly me. This is me. This person is me. So instead of going around and ideating too much on hooks, of course you need to be doing that. But instead of constantly doing that and not exploring other options, you have to have one pillar where you're utilizing your age as an advantage to capitalize on your ICP. That is why age as a hook works really well, which is why we saw all of those trends, which is why it has always worked really well and everyone is using it even now. Yeah, so that's why I want age as an ICP pillar here. Does that make sense? So these are 20-something-year-olds with similar personal trajectories. Okay, what that means is they're probably under a lot of pressure like you are. These could be young people that have also taken family businesses right now. There are a lot of people like that. Especially I think in India, there are a lot of people that take over family business. In fact, I can name 5 of my friends that have taken over family businesses.
So even if somebody is a shopkeeper and his son, he is confused that can he do anything for his father's shop, like even if it's just a normal grocery shop. So that is also a family business. The potential in that shop also lies under the retail chain category. So his aspirations could be anything. He could name that shop and think of creating 1,000 shops like that over the place. That will also lie under the family business category. People could relate to that also if somebody has these.
So these are 20-something-year-olds with similar personal trajectories. When we talk about personal trajectories and what we're going to be talking about here, it's talking about how you took over the family business. So family business at a young age. There's a very specific kind of people we're targeting here. But when they see this video, there is no way they don't convert to a follower. Because they'll want to hear you out more. They'll want to see someone in a similar position, right? That's why we're going so specific into the ICP. So these are people that have family business at a young age as well. They're either going to take over soon, their families are forcing them to take over and they want to do something else. Confusing spots. Someone is doubting themselves whether they can take over the family business. Stuff like that. So we're going to be talking to exactly these people here. We're going to be talking to people who are 20-something-year-old who are into fitness like you. So fitness is going to be one component. You started boxing recently as well. Just covering all of that and, getting everybody that is into these things to relate to you as well. On the religious side of things, if you're spiritual, do you want to integrate some part of that as well?
Yeah, I'm very religious. Just because I think there's only one single line that I need to put in my life to be religious, like never hurt anyone intentionally.
Okay. Do you want to integrate religion?
No, I don't think so.
You don't?
There's another point that can get in a lot of audience actually. Any person who's starting a business, he needs the emotional mindset he should have with the laborers.
So team building, leadership skills like that, right? I think leadership encompasses it better. So fitness, team building, leadership. What else do you think your personal growth has that you can share? I forgot to put the moat on the solar system, which we usually put. Consider this some sort of atmosphere around the solar system, which has to be interwoven into every planet, which is every ICP that we have. It has to be interwoven into you, Gangesh. And this will be something that will be a part of every single video you post, every single content you post, in some form or the other, to some extent or the other. Somewhere it'll be 10%, somewhere it'll be 99%, somewhere it'll be 1%, which is your story. Yeah. So I've just noted this down here as well, so that viewers can understand as well as to what this moat means. So coming to what you just told me about. On one end, we're going to be talking about your personal growth. We're going to be talking about what you've learned through your journey, through your story, and how emotional developments right now in your business when you're dealing with people, dealing with the business in general. We're going to talk about that, but we're also going to interweave it into your story. So we're going to talk about your past experience, how you came from there till here, how that shift has taken place, and an indirect output of that is going to be that people will build a lot of trust. People that have had similar trajectories will build a lot of trust because they'll think change is possible. They'll think he's headed in the right direction. This is what I want to be like 3 years down the line. Or maybe these are people that are exactly like you. They have also tackled similar situations and they're exactly where you are, running their own businesses. And they're like, I understand this person because I've been through the exact same journey. So it'll build a lot of trust. That's why story is something that just indirectly builds a lot of trust if correctly told. You're correctly told does not mean you have to change anything about your story. It just means that you have to filterlessly, honestly, genuinely, authentically tell it, unapologetically own it and tell it. And a byproduct of that is going to be people that relate to your story are just going to follow along because they have similar stories. And stories is what connects every human to another.
Yeah, I think that is the root of everything.
Everything, yeah. We were at leadership, so when we talk about your learnings from the business with respect to your personal growth, do you want to write emotional growth or what do we want to label that as? What do you think?
Emotional IQ is what actually grows.
Okay.
Emotional intelligence, because people building, team building, you need emotional intelligence. In leadership also, you need that emotional stability, that maturity. So I think that is very important anyways.
Very true. So I think we're going to write emotional growth because if we're taking physical growth into account, we should take emotional growth into account as well. So we'll write emotional growth and EQ will be a part of it. So the umbrella is basically emotional growth.
Even fitness, in the end goal of fitness is to actually contribute to your mental and emotional growth as well.
Yeah. In fact, to a major extent.
Yeah.
So you'll be documenting your emotional growth in the business, running the business, what you're learning. I think this pretty much encompasses a lot of stuff about your personal growth and your personal life. What do you think?
Yeah, it does.
It does. Anything else you think we left out here?
No, for one particular ICP, I think this is enough.
This is pretty
Yeah,
much it, right? Perfect. Secondly, we have documenting the journey, right? When we say documenting the journey, this is a very authentic, pure thing that you do. Everyone has their own way around doing it. But this is something that you don't fabricate. This is something you don't think who the end viewer is. The point of documenting the journey is to build trust with the already existing audience, one. Two, whatever audience other content pillars are attracting can come and look at documenting the journey and build more trust. Thirdly, if done rightly, it can be a content pillar that attracts new people in itself. But that is not what we're going to obsess over, because then we'll end up fabricating it more and not documenting the true journey, which is something I think is a very important part of building your personal brand, right? So for documenting the journey, going to be filterlessly documenting the journey. See, the ICP is going to be pretty much the ICP for the business, for you, that we're elaborating upon everywhere else. The ICP is pretty much going to be the same. But we're going to be, let this be a magnet that attracts the people that it wants to attract.
I think it's more of a top of the funnel.
No, it's more bottom of funnel. Because
Actually,
it nurtures people.
Yeah, it does nurtures people, but because while I'm documenting, there are going to be many angles to it. So some part is what's going to bring new conversion as well. I think so. Because while we're documenting, we're so raw, we're so real. There are no filters or anything. We might also showcase a quality or a factor that can be relatable to other audiences as well. That can be only done in documenting because that is unintentional.
Very well pointed out.
So let's say like I am going to the office. I just posted a video of touching my grandfather's feet, let's say. So now that could relate to anyone. It doesn't matter the age, business, whomsoever. Even if a guy who's working in office, he has no relation to anything, but he can also derive that, okay, he's doing that in the morning, it's a good thing to do, maybe I can take that. So that top of the funnel I'm talking about.
Got it. Actually, that makes a lot of sense. So instead of writing ICP here or elaborating on the kind of people we want here, all we'll do is write guidelines, which is transparency, honesty, and everything being filtered.
Raw.
Raw. Yeah, so one is raw, second is authentic. And while you do that, the journey that you're going through, the things that you're doing on a daily basis, these are very small things that might build a lot of trust in the audience that we're not even considering in our normal ICP. And that can potentially lead to business conversions. That can potentially lead to people that end up following you for 20 years and build trust because they relate to that particular small thing so much. And even my belief is that documenting your journey has to be a very natural, raw thing that you do. You don't have to plan too much about the ICP, plan too much about the people that it goes to. And this does sound counterintuitive to what advice is prevalent for posting content. But I believe when you get into the technicals so deeply, you understand everything cannot be as planned as you want it to be. It can be, but everything is not best done when it is as planned as you think it should be. Third is organic marketing channel for Sports Sun, which is your business. This is Sports Sun. This is your business. Now we're talking money. We're talking about actual conversions to your business. So your personal brand is not just for personal growth, not just to document the journey. You should also get an ROI out of it, which is tangible, which is money. That can change your life tangibly a lot as well, right? So we're going to get into how that will happen. For this, we need to get into the depths of what is the ICP of Sports Sun. What are the people that you sell to?
We deal with the government also. We deal D2C also. We do B2B also.
I have a question.
Yeah.
What percentage of your revenue from the business is D2C? What is B2B?
Right now, 98% is B2B only.
B2B only.
D2C is only website or your own retail outlets.
Why we need to service D2C and B2B people a bit separately is there is one thing that they both are doing when they watch your content, which is decision making. You have to make a decision whether to buy from you or not. But the criteria for the decision making is going to differ a lot for D2C and B2B. Reason being, all of these people that we just wrote down here, these are all B2B people. There is one thing common between all of them, which is that they're executives. They make decisions for a mass, for a very huge amount of people. They are answerable to the government. They're answerable to the founders of these big corporates. They're making huge decisions. What attracts them to your company to buy from you in bulk is not the color of your product, is not the intricacies that a D2C customer will look at. This is how reliable is Gangesh as a founder. This is how reliable are the company's numbers. How reliable are the company's case studies? Who else have they serviced in the past? Is there a similar government organization that they've serviced to earlier? Is there a corporate that they've serviced to earlier? Is there a school like ours that has been serviced to earlier? Are they happy with the products? What has that been like?
Actually-
So, talking about your experience here, working with B2B people will attract B2B people, which is also a part of documenting the journey. So, we spoke about how these will be interconnected. Documenting your B2B experience. So, this will be experience and insights. Also, some case studies plus case studies around B2B people. Does that make sense? End of day, that is what is going to attract them.
So
It's not day in the lives that will attract them. That may attract them, that will not convert them. What will convert them is looking at, oh, they worked with someone exactly like us, in fact bigger than us. I want my clothes from Sports.
I think this is the only mode that my company has that nobody else can. It is that we are established since 1988. With the first order that we did was for the government of India itself.
Oh wow.
They were athletes. They were Indian athletes that were going to perform on a global level, on a international championship, and somehow their dresses got a little messed up. There was a hassle or something, and then they reached out to my grandfather, and he was just in the industry, and he had that trust. Trust is the only thing that you need. Experience, insights, case studies around B2B people, it all falls under trust in
Very
India.
true. Actually, very true. I should have mentioned that. You mentioned very true. Attracting B2B people will be all about trust.
It's
Trust,
about-
reputation, positioning, but all under trust. This is B2B. We've solved for this. This is what we have to do. Build trust by these content formats, content
Trust
ideas.
is what I've been blessed with because
Because that is something that you inherited.
yeah.
I wrote a bit on what will attract the D2C people as well. Since this is a side of the business that is just starting out, we're not going to be paying it too much attention. We're going to just keep it in check, keep it proportionate to how the business is accustomed to even handle the D2C growth, right? So depending on the growth that we face here, we will tweak this and increase more content pieces here. But as of now, that is not a requirement that I see.
Yeah. For if you want to know the ICP in D2C,
Huh.
that's what you're asking. no?
Yeah, that will be people into sports,
I would say
people
that
into
would be-
comfort wear.
Anybody who need a little bit of fitness in their life, it could be as simple as walking. And even I can tell you the age group also. It's from the age of 18 to 40.
Perfect. So we're going
Mostly, majorly.
So here, what content pieces you're going to be making are, you can do breakdowns of what brands you think are performing well, why they're performing well. You can do breakdowns of, this is a clothing piece we recently got, how is it different from most, why you should buy it, you know. So this is more that connects with one person, why this t-shirt should be something he buys. And you can be talking about your products in that manner, attracting these people. So that is a content piece we're going to target with this. Lastly, I think we have network and industry domination. What I think is these are really correlated in the way that if you build industry domination and show industry domination, you automatically get invited to networking events. Here, we can't write industry domination as an ICP because that is not a kind of people. Apart from this topic, we have to get into the specifics of who these people are that are going to think of you as an industry leader. Who are these people? For example, who are the people that invited you to Jindal for the panel discussion? These are people looking out for industry leaders. How do you show them that you're an industry leader? By giving unique insights about the industry. By sharing all of these insights, everything that you learn about the business, by documenting. But if documenting does not become that top of funnel, you need to separately do that as well, talking about your business. You have to innovate within the industry, which is something you automatically are doing for your business right now. You have to
Lay down the facts of the industry in a much practical manner.
unique industry specific points. You become an industry leader by sharing unique industry specific insights.
Yeah, that's
And then everything else helps you do this and get noticed by the people that are going to help you and enable you to become an industry leader. These are colleges that might invite you. These are people sitting at positions in the apparel industry in India that have relatively more experience. And everything else is going to correlate and build more trust for them. But this specifically is going to go and hunt these people down and get them into the loop of Gangesh's personal brand. Wait a second. So that we don't forget all of this, we will write content pieces here as well. From here, we take talking heads plus B-roll formats, maybe B-roll plus A-roll formats, which are going to be documenting Gangesh's thoughts, documenting the whole emotional journey, personal growth. This can be fitness. If it's around fitness, it could be recording in the gym, recording doing pull-ups, stuff like that. So with respect to getting into the exact way of recording so that people can take away a lot of value from here, there's going to be a mix of all of these formats tailor-made for personal growth. So within these formats, we're going to be talking about the content pieces. For personal growth, we're going to be documenting emotional thoughts, emotional learnings, That is going to be one sort of content piece. I think talking heads suit really well there. Things around fitness, how it's impacting you, what you're learning there. Leadership, all your learnings from here are going to be content topics, content pieces here. This is from the first ICP. Second is, okay, raw, authentic honesty. So from there, we can have factory visits. We can have videos wherein your product has come out defective and you're talking about how you're going to work on that. You can have team communication on ideating on new products.
The complete operational workflow, the designing workflow. Joint family business angle is very important there, I feel. Because we have a
Very
joint
true.
family.
Oh, we didn't try that.
Because it adds many layers to everything.
Absolutely.
Like,
The
an
journeys are
entirely
very
new-
different. And then we have your case studies and everything here. So these are case studies. These are direct product breakdowns on how you build this product, why you build it, who it's made for. And just going out there and showing your product to people. That also inherently builds trust for B2B people as well. Yeah, and this is the whole ecosystem we're forming. With that, we end the strategy session. It will definitely give a lot of insights, basic insights to you in being able to implement whatever we implemented here into different niches. And how any marketing campaign for any business with so much depth has to go in so many, deep levels that we do not necessarily think of right off the bat. Yes, that ends the strategy session. Hope it was fruitful. See you in the next one.